Fun fact, Rebecca, if you didn't know, like Will literally does everything for this podcast. I'm not kidding when I say that I just show up. He owns everything.
I'm pretty sure we're co-owners, but
I conceptualize, yeah.
We're co-owners of, I'm pretty sure, the debt the podcast has. We don't have assets. Right. We just probably have debt.
Just have debt. Not that much.
It's all the alcohol debt I'm in.
What's that movie? Is it a hit? I'll ask her later, she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Seen a Podcast. This is a podcast where we bring people on the show and we get them really drunk and they tell me about a movie that I'd never seen before. I'm Alenka Zach.
And I do everything.
Well, you're a piece of garbage.
Sorry, I know. I do everything for this, maybe, potentially, Canadian Podcast Award-winning winner podcast.
Okay, literally you mentioned that, but the only part that we are nominated for is a part that you had no play in, the theme song.
I know. I maybe made one suggestion to Zach. As of this recording, which you'll be listening to 2 weeks from now.
Damn.
We don't know if we've won yet. So fingers crossed that we're getting that big award for Zach that then I will print out and hand to him.
Yeah, but instead of Zach being here today, we've got someone way better, way more talented, and who also does fucking impersonations and character work. Get fucking hyped, you guys. We've got impersonator, actor, writer, Rebecca Mason on the show tonight.
Oh, dang. That was like, I feel like I'm in the club now.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah, if this club was just two people talking and some DJ horns, then it would be the best
Is
club.
that not what clubs are?
That's my experience.
Yeah.
That's
only clubs I go to.
Club. Yeah.
Club horn.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so happy to be here with you guys to talk about one of my favorite films. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
What movie are we talking about?
You've Got Mail.
Yeah, we do.
You've Got Mail. Okay. I'm interested in this because one, I don't know what year it was. Two, I think I know who's in it. And three, I know very little about this. I said this off mic, but like my references are as usual from Family Guy. So I'm about to get educated.
Oh, definitely. It's a fabulous film, in my opinion. I also love Norah Ephron, who is the writer and director of the film.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and we've done one other. We've done When Harry Met Sally. That was our second episode ever.
Yes.
So it's same territory, including we're gonna get to it. There's even similar, like exact scenes almost.
Yeah.
written into this movie.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Nora likes what she likes, man.
Yeah.
She's not afraid.
Yeah. Well, why did you pick this movie that's going to just warm Alenka's capitalist heart?
Really? Oh, no. I'm not a capitalist, Will.
I love it because, I don't know, it's just before I moved to New York, it had all the New York scenes, the coffee shop vibe, the dog, I don't know, it just felt that, oh man, I want to move there. So, I grew up watching it and I'm pretty sure I've watched it like every single year of my life. It's like one of those movies that I just go to when I want to feel like, oh yeah, this is why I love this city,
Yes. Sometimes you need to remind yourself when you see someone like shitting in the street. You're like, why am I here again?
Yeah, it's like I just want to be in a Nora Ephron movie, basically.
Yeah, and you got shit in the street.
And I got shit in the street instead.
I mean, just like When Harry Met Sally, New York is kind of like the third character in this movie in a way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love
like
that.
New York is always a character.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You never base a movie on New York and not tell everyone in the movie that you're in New York.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I guess it's fair to say I probably haven't seen any movies that have been filmed in other locations that I've like lived in or like spent a lot of time in. But anytime I watch a film and like it's set in New York, I literally am like, oh, I've been there. Oh, I know like things around the corner from there. Like, ooh, remember that time we did this there? And it just feels so like nostalgic and like you get the feelings and you're like, fuck, I need to go back. Or like, yes, I'm glad I'm here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that a lot with our indie Canadian comedy series that are filmed in Toronto. I'm like, ooh, that's the city I live in. But we do it a lot with Canada. We're like a big movie and they're like, they said Canada in the movie.
Yeah, they
but
said
it is.
Toronto.
But it's something about that. Like when you see it in a movie, and it's like where you live, where you're from, you just get super attached to it and like proud of it. You're like, yeah, New York, that's my coffee shop corner, and I know that Subway. I don't know.
That's my shit on the
It's so
street.
true.
Exactly. Call back.
Yes.
I can only do callbacks if they happened 5 minutes ago. So, short-term memory.
Yeah, we'll see, Will.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah.
See.
I mean, you know a lot about New York, Alenka, but what do you know about this movie?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm probably totally wrong, but from my recollection of maybe, okay, I'm coming up with two different references here. So is Sandra Bullock in this?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, here's my rendition then. Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves are the lead characters. Am I super wrong? That's fine. Anyways.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Keep going.
What movie
This
am
is
I
a different-
thinking of?
I know what you're thinking of, and it's completely wrong.
Okay. Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves, baby. They're married. They have a great life. And then she finds out that he's a Nazi. What movie is this? I don't know. It's from Family Guy.
Wait, this is like the title You've Got Mail leads you to believe that this is a married couple and the husband turns out to be a Nazi?
Yeah. Not from the title, from what I thought Family Guy was
From what you
referencing.
thought.
Okay,
Now-
but are we really that off with the themes of this movie? You know, if
You've got
know
mail.
what I
Okay.
mean?
This is what I actually think. Yeah. This is what I actually think. So some guy's dead or he's in another dimension or something, right? And he's from the future. Is that this one? This isn't this?
No, that's the
Okay.
It's the lake house.
Whatever.
The lake
He sends
house.
her mail.
That's the only movie
He
they've
sends
done.
her mail in a mailbox that she then can look into, and it's letters from this guy from a different dimension, and they fall in love, but it's tough because they go to a deli and she screams about having an orgasm. So I got something right.
And Norah Ephron's known for her sci-fi romances.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Nazis.
Yeah,
Got
and
it.
Nazis.
I don't know what that other movie is then. That's also a Sandra
God,
Bullock
okay.
one too, though, I think.
Alenka, this makes me so happy because I for sure, I thought you were, for the last like quite a few episodes, I'm like, you're playing us. You've seen all these movies because you get the synopses so well. This was so off the mark.
So off.
So
But I got the
wrong
lake
that I'm
house.
so happy.
I got the lake house pretty good.
You got the If we were talking about the lake house starring Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves, you were pretty dang close.
So who the fuck's
Yeah.
in this movie then?
Well, who was in the last Norah Ephron movie that we watched? Or
What's her
talked
nuts?
about, I should say.
I want to say Kate Middleton, but I know that's wrong. What's her name? She's like the Jennifer Aniston of the 80s, right?
90s,
What's her name?
90s.
but
90s.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan.
Meg. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Rebecca's already like, I fucking
I'm already
hate
frustrated.
you.
I'm like, come on, say it.
I know. So Meg Ryan and curly hair
Yeah.
guy. So
Tom
she's in this one
Hanks.
again? No. Oh, is Tom Hanks in this one?
No.
Sweet.
Yes, not Billy Crystal, but Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Okay.
The other curly hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
I'm down for a Hanks movie.
The other not so typical leading man. Yeah.
He does a great job.
Yeah.
He does,
Him and
yeah.
Big. Okay. I get the
You've
vibe
seen
now.
Big? That's good.
I have seen Big.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good.
Yeah.
Big is good.
There you go.
They made me watch it in film
Good
school.
job, Alenka,
Yay.
for watching a famous movie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, are you curious about the drink? Because you didn't really utilize any of the drink themes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because I
So-
thought we were going to end up talking about Nazis, and I was like, I don't know. Are we doing German beer? I don't know.
I didn't say German beer, but that's okay.
I know.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, the drink today I'm calling the Shop and the Fox.
Don't get it.
And essentially what you want to do is you want to get, the most indie kind of craft beer you can, and then get the most mass produced, cheapest beer you can. and then drink both of them because they're essentially the same, right?
Are they?
That's the drink.
Oh my God, am I going to have an
That's the drink,
existential crisis from this movie?
Yeah, maybe. You're going to get frustrated at it, which is
Okay.
not what the audience, I don't think they intended the audience to get frustrated back in the 90s, but now in, 2021, you're just, so frustrated by the end.
Really?
Based on what happens. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all ready.
I guess we
Rebecca,
are.
how does this movie start?
Well, it opens up on a beautiful fall Manhattan picture through the
Cute.
Upper West Side,
Love.
and lands on a little shop around the corner, which is a beautiful small bookshop that Meg Ryan owns.
Okay, maybe I watched a different version because me and my partner watched it, and we also forgot this happened, or maybe we had a different version that we watched. But the opening credits are all super like digital.
Oh, you meant
like
the credits.
New
Oh,
York.
you go like beginning. Yes.
Well, because there's all these like super digital credits, which actually for the time, 1998, I was pretty impressed with.
Yeah.
They digitize New York and they like fly around. And actually, there's one moment where a really, really, really similar to Labyrinth owl flies through.
No way. Come on.
I think they just used the same asset from Labyrinth to put in their
They're
movie.
like, can we borrow?
But the credits are super like, we're in the digital age now, 3D.
Yeah, because it's all based in like AOL messaging. So
yeah.
Is it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got mail. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually, so then the opening is actually, it rises up into Meg Ryan's like beautiful brownstone. We actually don't see the shop around the corner yet, but
Really?
it kind of goes right into her window.
Creepy.
Yeah.
And and we're kind of introduced to Meg Ryan and her boyfriend Frank, played by Greg Kinnear.
Yeah, Greg Kinnear.
Okay. Gotta Google.
He's in like
who
everything.
He is.
Just need to double check.
He's great. And he honestly, like,
are they arguing?
We're supposed to hate this character.
Yeah.
Not really hate him, but he's the character, he's the boyfriend we're not supposed to like.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's not the main character.
Yeah. He's too socialist.
Is he? Wait, so what's Meg Ryan?
She's a little bookshop owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's cute.
Okay.
She's Meg Ryan.
She's just cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wearing her Meg Ryan clothes. She's always
So
wearing like the same
fashion.
thing in every movie. It's like oversized. It's like Diane Keaton. They all wear like that same uniform no matter what film they're in. It's like this oversized, like, I'm just, putting this on, throw something on and walk down the street. No,
Exactly.
nothing
But
fancy.
it looks flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
This
the
is the
80s,
beginning of
baby.
like the Meg Ryan haircut.
Yes.
Because when Harry Met Sally, her hair's not really like, it's more like big and curly. Whereas it's now kind of that bob, straight.
The PC-ness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Yeah.
The what?
PC-ness? You wouldn't know.
PC-ness.
You don't
What's
know.
PC-ness?
It's like
I wouldn't
the-
know.
It's like the swoop and it's a very close to a Karen haircut.
But
I
you're
think.
saying the political
no.
correctness? The politically correct haircut? Is that what you're saying?
What? No. Okay.
Okay.
So we meet boy and girl.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
And Frank doesn't like computers. She's got her computer, and Frank's like, the computers are ushering in the fall of civilization. He's basically a Luddite. He doesn't like modern technologies other than typewriters and radio, maybe radio.
So
He's basically
indie.
a Brooklyn hipster
Yes.
Before
they were Brooklyn hipsters.
Oh, yuck. Annoying. And she's kind of for it. She likes it, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's like the relationship that's convenient.
Okay.
How some people get. I feel like that's their relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of fall into convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he leaves, and she like checks around the corners for him, make sure he's completely out of the house, and it's all sneaky music. And then she logs on her computer, and it's like, you've got mail. Also,
Already?
the one thing in this movie that has aged really well and is now a joke in itself, even though it wasn't in the back then, is the dial-up noise. She like logs on, and you just hear like, and you just laugh at that, even though that's not intended to be a joke at the time.
It's very nostalgic.
It's just factual.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
yeah. That was intended to be like, oh, she's logging onto the internet. It's like, this is
right. There used to be a sound that like identified that. Now you just kind of know when somebody like opens a computer. It's
so much easier. Yeah. No one has to be off the landline in order to get on the internet.
Oh my God, I forgot that existed. Oh my God, the worst.
And she gets a message from. She's gotten a message from someone named NY152.
NY152. What could that mean? Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, the street.
Are you
maybe?
intrigued now?
Yeah, like what the fuck? Is she like having an affair? I'm
that's
stressed.
his handle.
And
then her handle's Shop Girl.
Shop Girl.
Shop Girl. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What did they?
And then it cuts, and then it cuts to Tom Hanks's perspective.
What?
And
already?
And he's like eating breakfast, and his girlfriend
Parker Posey.
Excuse me.
Patricia. Yeah, who's like in publishing. She publishes books and stuff. She's like all rushing around to like get ready, go to work, and she's really kind of busy.
Takes an espresso.
Yeah, she would.
You know, they look like they fancy. She leaves, and then Tom Hanks, with sneaky music, looks around the house to make sure she's gone. He logs onto his laptop. Dial up noise. Message from Shop Girl. But this is 1998 and it's the internet, so it's kind of like, we're just talking to a stranger. It's not cheating.
No,
that definitely changed over time.
Yeah. Now if this was a current relationship, they'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah, what the fuck? What's their exchange? Like, what are they
Except it would be, who is XX Shop Girl with a URL XX521 underscore 420?
It would be so much longer.
Yeah. Had to be.
Yeah. And they're just sharing their lives with each other. They're just like talking about, but they don't know each other's like names. They don't know who each other are. They have no information other that they both are in New York, I believe. Yeah. Or he doesn't even know she's in New York. God. We just know he's in New York because NY.
Because you used to just like meet people online in AOL chat rooms and stuff.
Right.
Like strangers.
You could just randomize that shit. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So weird.
Now, if I get a random text from a number I don't know, I'm like, who the fuck are you? And just delete it.
Yeah. Don't even acknowledge it.
Very different times.
Block it. Yeah.
Yeah. Blocked. Could have been Tom Hanks.
Exactly.
Could have been. This could have been your movie.
It could have been. I could have been in a Norah Ephron movie
as Tom Hanks. Yeah, and then so it's essentially we see they're having a little friendship, maybe a bit more on
That's
the line.
Fucked. I'm already upset. What the fuck?
I know. I was gonna say you fucking hate it when there's affairs in movies. So does Sam, by the way, my girlfriend.
So much.
But so you might not even you might just lose all interest. So we're introduced to Kathleen. That's Meg Ryan's character's name. Her bookshop, the shop around the corner. Yeah, and it's this little. It's basically a children's bookstore. It's a very tiny little store. She has a couple of employees, Christina, and what's his face, George, played by Steve Zahn. Who I miss Steve Zahn. He's not in much anymore.
No, I think the last thing I saw him in, he was like hosting like a whiskey documentary or something.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even realize he was
So
in
random.
movies in the 90s. I thought he kind of had a 2000 start, but yeah.
That's what I like about watching like older movies, is because you can kind of see where other actors kind of got their start. You're like, oh, that's what's his name? Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
It's that dude.
Where'd he go?
I don't know why I just always see him as in the movie Saving Silverman, the Jack Black, Jason Biggs movie.
Yeah.
It's the only character I see him as. Is he's always, to me, that's always his character, is kind of a doofus. But
What's he like here? Well, he's kind of not really like a main dude. He's just like
a nice,
shop employee.
nice,
Just a
good
guy.
looking, intelligent dude, knowledgeable about children's books, rare children's books.
Great.
So she has this little shop. Her shop used to be her mother's, and her mother used to be famous for this shop. Now, by extension, she's sort of book famous. They're all kind of like book famous, in the literary world.
Okay.
And then there's also who's the other? There's an older woman who's like her mother's friend who also works for her. She does like all the books, like the accounting books.
Okay.
Yeah, still there.
She has like a cubby of an office. She doesn't even have like an office.
Aww.
It's like this little hole. She just like, oh, we got the numbers. It's not looking good.
I'm done with the numbers. Can I get out, please?
Yeah. Meanwhile, guess who Tom Hanks is? T. Hanks. Guess what he does?
An asshole. Banking.
Yeah. Essentially, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What? No.
We're just talking about like, big business and mass produced and little business.
Okay.
So he
does
small
Barnes
business.
and Nobles.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like the Norah Ephron version of Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an
got
executive.
it.
He's the son of Fox and Sons like books, which is supposed to be like a Barnes and Noble. I guess chapters in Canada, if we're going with Canadian references.
It's Indigo now, but
Indigo books. He's the son of like the CEO and founder, or I guess grandson of the CEO and founder, and then his father is now CEO. He's a high executive. So it's a family business. So they built it from the ground up.
Sure.
And they're currently building a huge like superstore that's going to have like a Starbucks in it and just vast amounts of books. His like the head of the construction or the overseer of the project is actually Dave Chappelle, which was great seeing him.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Which again, forgot.
Does he just pop in, or does he have some airtime?
Movies? Oh no, he's in it. He's like he's essentially Tom Hanks' best friend in the movie.
Yeah,
Sick.
but light, like not in a big way. Just kind of like, oh yeah, he could be his best friend.
Yeah.
There you
They
go.
don't say that, but
It's
like
the only
he's
friend
the only
that we see him with.
Yeah. Other than his father, it's him. It's
Dave Chappelle.
So they're constructing this big bookstore, and they decide like, oh, we got to get a sign up going, And the bookstore being constructed is literally around the corner from the shop around the corner. So that's kind of why it's pretty fucking shitty.
Little play on words too.
They put a big sign saying like Superstore around the corner or something like that, or Fox and Sons coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Which is right in front of the shop around the corner. So it's a big asshole move. Big asshole. Yeah.
Rude. Okay. So Maggie's upsetty spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. But every great romance starts with hate, right? That's what we know.
Oh my God. Hate and affair.
It was the same with When Harry Met Sally. It's going to be the same with this.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Fuck. It drives me nuts.
His dad and his grandfather and him all have this meeting, and his grandfather talks about, Kathleen's mother, so the original owner of the shop around the corner, and him, the grandfather, used to like write letters to each other or something. Like they might have dated at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Generational love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. The mother's dead at this
Interesting.
point, but And then another fun little fact, unless we can just like, well, maybe we'll reveal it when we get to the scene where it's revealed.
Okay.
Because it is kind of, you don't
They're
understand
related.
right at the top, you
No.
don't understand what's happening with these like two, there's these two small children as in the movie, and you don't really know who they are right away. I don't think, unless
Okay.
it's kind of talked
Okay.
about, but I don't remember them ever being, talked about specifically. But his father is about to marry basically a woman, his father. And she drops off these two kids, one of whom being her and his father's son, so his brother, and the other a little girl who is actually his grandfather's daughter, so his aunt. So he spends the day with his brother and his aunt, who are both very, very young children.
Yeah, it's so
What?
weird. That is a weird
What?
part. Yeah.
What?
Well,
What?
because so his father and grandfather are both men who basically have married and divorced like over and over
They're
again.
millionaires. Like they're
Yeah.
rich. So this explains
Yeah.
why they can do this.
So
Okay. Yeah.
So his father has a son that's like 7 years
New.
old, and that's Tom
Uh-huh.
Hanks's brother. And his grandfather has a daughter who's like 10 years old, and that's his aunt.
How are they still potent?
Oh, men can be potent for so long.
What
Rebecca's
a gross
face right
word. Potent.
now. Well, it's
Yeah,
not wrong.
potent, virile.
Ew, I didn't know
Ugh.
that. I thought their potency ends at a certain age. Well, very good. Good to know.
No, only women expire.
Oh, darn. Of course, we would.
Of course.
Yeah, so they spend the day. He spends the day with his
The fuck?
his. At first, I thought it was his kids, and then I realized,
Right.
oh shit, no, it's his aunt
It's
and his
his-
brother. Okay,
That's so weird. That's so
yeah.
fucked.
Also,
What the
his
fuck?
his dad's like fiance
Why?
continually hits on him all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Wow.
yeah,
There's a lot of this wow
It's just-
moment
It's a very
happening.
weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
He should definitely have therapy, I will say. Like the
Yes.
character, like it to have that family dynamic and not have therapy is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
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 I concur.
Gross. Okay. So they're chilling. And then
Mm-hmm. This is a
is
meeting.
this when they meet?
The first
Ugh,
meeting.
Yeah.
hate them.
So he has
But they don't
his,
know they're meeting.
they don't know they're meeting, but he has his aunt and his brother, who are these two children, and they want to get
fucked.
like he's having a day with them, and the only bookshop that's a children's bookshop in the area is the shop around the corner, owned by Meg Ryan's character Kathleen Kelly. So they
Mhm.
go in there, and he's aware of her, like knowing that that's his competition, and he's probably going to put her out of business.
Right.
And she doesn't know that that's Joe Fox. She knows
Yep.
about the big bookstore going in, so it's like awkward for him, and she's
Interesting.
blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
And the kids are like shopping for stuff, and then there's this little moment where the brother's child says like F-O-X and like spells fox, and she's like F-O-X? Well, that's great, you spell fox. And of course Joe Fox is like,
God.
oh yeah, the animal. Like it's
Yeah.
so awkward, like him trying to like hide that he's Joe Fox, and of course she doesn't get it. And you know,
Right,
he
right.
buys the books and supports her business, but it feels like a very petty purchase, like kind of just like
Mm.
Yeah.
You
And he's
know.
also very
Also-
like, wow, these books are expensive.
Expensive,
And you're
yeah.
like, you are a fucking
yeah?
millionaire,
Yeah.
buddy.
What a brat.
yeah,
Also, why
Yeah.
the fuck don't they carry children's books?
they
Well, their store isn't open yet.
yeah the store's
so-
not open yet,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. They're
so
at,
that's
like,
why
are they
he
at?
comes there.
Got you. Okay.
Mhm. And like Kathleen's there, she's reading to all the children. It's a very homey
Yeah.
environment. And
Right.
yeah, the fact that he's cagey about buying the books, though, is kind of like, it's another one of those, like, you know, this is how rich people are rich. They just don't buy expensive books like the rest
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
They buy them
whatever.
in bulk, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then sell the remainder.
Yeah. There's actually a great line from Steve Zahn because he's like, he's showing this really rare book to Tom Hanks while
Oh,
Kathleen
yeah,
is
yeah.
kind of reading to the kids, and Tom Hanks is like, oh wow, and Steve Zahn's like, yeah, see, these are original edgings or whatever, and Tom Hanks is, oh, that's why it's so expensive, and Steve Zahn's like, no, that's why it's worth so much, or he's like, that's why,
Yeah.
that's why it costs so much. No, that's why it's worth so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Very different phrasing and
That's
perspective.
very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
do they
that's
have
their first
any
meeting.
So they do have kind of an interaction because she's kind of talking to the kids.
Yeah.
And then they buy something, but that's kind of it at this point.
Yeah, and he explains like that's his aunt and that's his brother.
He does explain it.
Yeah, and she's like what? And like and she like tries to guess like what the brother is to him. She's like, your grandfather, your great grandfather, and he's like giggling. He's like, no, I'm his brother.
Oh
And
my
she's
God,
like,
what?
She's like, what?
Yikes. Because
Yeah.
what are their ages in this movie?
I would say
Oh.
that like he's literally just learned how to spell his last name. They kind of mention that, and that's why he says FOX,
Yeah.
and that's all
Sorry,
he can
Meg
spell.
Ryan and Tom Hanks.
Oh.
What are their ages?
Yeah, Tom Hanks just learned how to spell his last name.
I was like, classic rich people.
This whole movie, Tom Hanks is
They
like,
don't do
FOX.
education.
It's a crossover from Big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I think they're like in their 30s.
Yeah.
Okay.
As most of these movies
Holy
are. It's
shit.
either you're
Okay.
in your 20s or your 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
if you're in your 40s, it's a
That's when love
heartwarming
happens.
older love story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then if you're in your 50s, there's no love.
Yeah.
It's
if,
like,
you're
we'll settle.
if you're 50s
That's so
falling in love
odd.
in a movie,
Yeah.
one of you gets cancer or something, or one of you is
Yes.
going to die.
Yeah.
Knights and Rodanthe.
Yeah.
Haven't
Another
seen
rom-com.
it.
Oh my God.
I know. Hate me.
But yeah, so that's their meet cute, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in-person meet cute, because I guess the
Right.
I don't know, digital part is also
Okay,
their meeting.
Hold
Yeah.
on a fucking second. So these guys are talking through AOL Messenger and they're telling each other about their lives, but they both left out the details of like what they do for a living.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was kind of part of it. It's almost like, ooh, it's almost sexier
Yeah.
if we don't know too much about each other.
So what do
We
they
just talk
know?
about, we just say things in vague things like,
I
oh, someone,
literally hate
know.
that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
very, very vague. But they
Ew.
it's almost like they share their feelings, but not the specifics of
What
the
a bunch of
context of any
fucking
of their
trash bags.
interactions.
Talk to your SO. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. That's not how they
So-
did it. No.
No. So that's their first meeting, and
Fidelity.
he's, Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks, so he's quite charming,
Mhm.
even
Yeah.
for an asshole millionaire.
Right.
And
We love him.
Kathleen is kind of charmed by him in the way he interacts with his aunt and his brother, and all that.
So fucked.
But this isn't their first meeting, because pretty soon after, they meet. Oh no, I think the superstore actually. The superstore actually opens after this meeting.
Okay.
And immediately, because they're like, Kathleen was holding on hope, like she was telling her boyfriend, like, oh, I think we'll be fine. Like, I think we can both exist in the same world.
Aw.
And even, I guess, in an email to NY152, she kind of expresses maybe this, what she's been doing and maybe not wanting, she might not have wanted to always do what she'd been doing without revealing any specifics. But
Yeah.
Okay.
that maybe that change could be good for her, sort of thing.
The optimist.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the one the store opens, it's kind of what's her name? Is it Ethel? I don't know. It's the older woman who is Kathleen's mother's friend, but
Oh.
who's the accountant.
Oh.
I just said Ethel because that's
An
older
old person
woman's
name. Could be
I think it
It's an
Esther.
old person's name.
I think
Mary
it was
Lou.
Birdie.
Birdie. That's her name.
Way better of a
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. And once it opens, Birdie, she's the one who runs the numbers. And the same week last year, they're like down in sales, like completely.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh.
the superstore is already affecting their business, and it's not looking too
Ugh,
good.
But I hate
Right.
the customers. They piss me off. They like have bags full of Fox books and then they go by her fucking shop and they're like, oh, hang in there. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, what the
Hang in there.
fuck?
But
the
one thing
fuck?
that my girlfriend Sam pointed out is like, she's the small bookstore owner. We can't go to Fox and Sons yet. She goes to Starbucks in this movie, like more than once, I think.
Yeah.
And Starbucks is featured in this movie quite prominently
Yeah.
because I believe it was probably, you know, a sponsor of some sort.
Right.
Of course.
Interesting.
Product placement.
Interesting.
Yeah. But then Starbucks was, you know, up and coming even in 1998.
I guess.
They were
yeah,
in all
sure.
the bookstores, Barnes and
Yeah,
Nobles, and
everyone.
everything. Yeah.
But not hers
Yeah.
because she only caters
Not
to
hers.
children. And everybody knows you don't give caffeine to kids.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's why you should have like McDonald's in her store with like kids meals.
Right. Chicky nugs.
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Get the BTS meal. All right. Their partner,
Like the
their
pop
partnership.
song? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. McDonald's is selling like a special BTS meal. BTS's favorite meal. Chicken
Shut the fuck up.
McNuggets
Oh my God.
with a Cajun and chili sauce of some sort.
Really?
Limited
What?
time only. Yeah. It's a branded bag.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, they did this
BTS.
too. They did this a couple months ago as well with a rapper. I can't remember, but yeah, they've been kind of partnering with musicians to like, you can
What?
buy their favorite meal.
So weird.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know they were
terrible.
doing that. Oh, McDonald's.
This world is shit. Okay.
Yep.
So the store is obviously a huge hit because it's cheap books,
And coffee.
Right.
and coffee. Lots of
Right.
coffee.
Okay. Coffee in the. Okay.
And at this point, you know, it's not looking good, but this is their second meeting. They actually go to this party. I guess, you know, everyone in the literary world, I guess, is in this party because Kathleen goes with
Oh my
her
gosh.
boyfriend and, you know, Fox, what am I saying? Joe Fox goes with his girlfriend to this party. It's kind of, I think it's like a fundraiser kind of party, but it's pretty upper crusty. There's caviar
Yeah.
served, you know,
Okay.
As
one
a
of these parties
garnish.
as a garnish.
Class up the ass.
And Kathleen spots Joe, but she
Ugh.
still doesn't know who he is and walks up and they're like, hey, you know, from
Yeah.
the bookstore.
How's your
Oh,
aunt?
yeah.
How's your yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they have a little nice meeting and he's
Poor
like, well,
girl.
I'm going to go, you know, see my girlfriend now. Walks over and Kathleen, this guy comes up to Kathleen. He goes like, oh my God, I can't believe you're just talking to Joe Fox. Like, he's
Mhm.
taking over everything. And she's like, what?
What?
That
Yeah.
motherfucker, that curly-headed, charming fuck is Joe Fox.
Yes.
Mhm.
That charming curly-headed
And
fuck.
I love it because she goes up to him like at like the food section, and then when she just goes like Fox, Fox, like she finally like clicks it together that that's what his brother was saying, and
Yeah.
she's like, "You fucking bastard!" Basically, in the way like she said it was like, "You fucking bastard." It was like Fox, like, oh come on.
Wicked.
It's a good little scene because like the caviar part does make me laugh because there's like this, I don't know what it's around, but it looks like an egg like mold or something, but they have like caviar around it and he like scrapes most of it and she's like, what are you doing? That's a garnish. And he just like takes it again and scoops more of it.
What the fuck?
And what I love though, but my favorite part is she like continues talking to him and just takes a spoon and scoops it off his plate and puts it on her plate. She's
What the
like,
fuck? Like-
as she's like talking to him. I don't know. It's one of my favorite little details.
It's
Such
a
an
great little
interesting
scene.
intimacy between more or less strangers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing. This movie, as well as like When Harry Met Sally, like people just get into each other.
There are no boundaries. Yeah.
So immediately. Yeah.
Like if someone
But,
touched my food at a party, I would have
And I
smacked
just
the
met them?
spoon out of their hands.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
Exactly.
what are you
You're
doing?
like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how it is, and she's just like, I hate this guy's
She finds
guts.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she like
And,
go
you know,
up
and
to him
because
again?
now she's upset because she goes right up to him, and that's
Uh-huh.
that's where they have the caviar scene, and she basically accuses him of spying on her, right? Like, you're scoping out me, you're looking at my bookstore, you're opening up your own. But he kind of belittles her stories, like, you were the only bookstore that had children's books at that time, and that's why I went to your store. And then I think he calls it like an insignificant but full of its own virtue or something, he says.
What does that even mean? Trying to insult or compliment? Figure it out.
No, he was mean.
Yeah.
Snarky.
Like he like, because she thinks she's better than his store because she's a small bookstore and sells books at higher prices, but he thinks he's giving books to the masses. It's kind of like this. Well, they're both right. They both
have different values. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we are supposed to think Tom Hanks has a point
right.
throughout this whole movie.
Yeah.
It was back in that time. It's just like Pretty Woman. It's just like we're supposed to
sympathize with this garbage person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sympathize. Yeah.
Perspective is fine. I see you have Budweiser there, the king of beers, Will. Sorry.
Yeah, I do have a Budweiser. That was my mass-produced beer that I bought.
It's good for you. Sorry, continue, Rebecca.
No, in like the same scene, Greg Kinnear, her boyfriend, comes up and she's like, oh, this is Joe Fox. And he just like rails in on him about like corporate America. And he's like, you're everything that's wrong. He literally says,
how do you sleep at night?
Yeah.
That's literally the first thing he says.
I love that because then Parker Posey comes in. She's like, actually, I take a great pill and it puts me right to bed. Like his girlfriend comes in and it just cracks me up that she was like, I just take a pill.
She thought it was
great.
genuine.
That's how I sleep. Yeah, she thought it was genuine because she's not aware of like what's happening.
But here is the copycat from When Harry Met Sally. So we didn't say this before, but Frank, Kathleen's boyfriend, is a journalist for The Observer. He's, a pretty well-regarded journalist. That's why he's at this party. He's part of the upper crust of literary people. And Parker Posey loves his writing and is like, oh my God, like you're Frank, like you wrote this, like I love reading your stuff. And then he's like, really? You love my stuff? And they start hitting it off, which is the exact scene from When Harry Met Sally, when Harry and Sally are on a double date with their friends.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher and the other guy.
Right.
And then the friends actually start hitting it off. It's literally the same scene.
Right.
But it's basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because if she's gonna make her two main characters have an affair, she may as well have their partners also look kind of in the same light. Hate this, by the way.
Yeah. And so the next kind of couple scenes, it's a kind of montage where you basically see them happening to run into each other a bunch of times. Like he's in Starbucks, she walks into the Starbucks and he like picks up his book and walks away. Like it's like an awkward encounter. And they're at the grocery store and she actually accidentally went into the aisle that's cash only.
Ugh, I love that part.
Yeah.
My favorite character in that scene is the guy behind her going, she doesn't have cash. She doesn't have cash. It's a cash only line. And he's like getting so upset. And everyone's like trying to like start a mob against her for being in the wrong line.
Yeah. And this is the worst scene actually, because then he's like paid for his stuff and then he walks by, he's like, oh, can I help you out? Like, and he's like, I don't need any help from you. And then he like sweet talks the cashier into letting her pay with a card because they do have the card machine there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't sweet talk. He is just like an asshole, but she's all like, oh, he's so charming. But he's literally like, I see you have a card thing right here. So pip, pip or something. He literally says that.
Yeah.
No way.
No, he goes, Happy Thanksgiving. And he says, you say Happy Thanksgiving back.
Ew. Ew.
Also, another, this is before they blew up on Grey's Anatomy. The cashier is Sarah Ramirez, Dr. Callie Torres from Grey's Anatomy.
World-class ortho surgeon.
Exactly.
Wow. Get it, girl. Starting at a grocery store as a cashier, then some orthosurgeon.
And it was Zabar's. So that was the other, that's a landmark thing in the film that I was like, oh, Zabar's. And when I first went to New York, I was like, oh my God, you've got mail.
You're like, yeah. Gotta get in the cash only lane.
I know. Here's my
No
credit card.
cash.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's the summer.
I
Now
hate
say
that.
it
That's
back.
so gross. Yeah, like that comes off to me as like going up to somebody and being like, Merry Christmas. Say Merry Christmas back now. Like when you don't fucking
It's
do
weird.
that.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
people who say you're welcome in like when like you didn't say thank you or right away.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you know,
yeah.
you're like, oh, you're welcome. And you're like, okay.
You're welcome.
I was going to say thank you. Jeez.
Fuck. Leave me be.
Yeah. But it's so they are writing
Ugh.
to each other about their interactions with each other without knowing it.
Yeah.
They're like,
Come on.
Kathleen's kind of like, I saw a man who's made my career life like a living hell right now, and
Okay.
I wanted to say all these things to him, but I couldn't. And he's like, well, like sometimes I feel like I say things too quickly and I hurt people's feelings when really I don't want to do that. It's just in my nature. And it's like
Oh.
they're writing to each other exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
no one cares. It's in
What
your
they just-
nature. Be better, you piece of trash.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
And then so she writes him and is like, oh no, is it? I forget which Godfather reference comes first. Is it Frank's Godfather reference?
Oh, I forget. I want to say it's not the.
Or no, it's later. That's later.
No,
I think
because
Frank's
at the
is like-
cocktail party, he does the horse head in the head. That was the caviar scene. He mentions the.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
does. Yeah, he mentions the horse head thing from the Godfather,
Yeah.
which is
The
So he's
movie,
obsessed
which
with the
I haven't seen?
Godfather. Yeah.
I know he references the Godfather, so we won't say the reference because you don't know it, and we'll eventually know it when we do that movie. And then when Kathleen's typing to NY152 and asking for advice about her situation, like how can she, fight back, or he
Right.
says you need to go to the mattresses, which is a Godfather reference, meaning kind of like fight to the death. Like you
Mhm.
can't, like you just have to, give it all you got. And she just she types out like, what is with men and the Godfather? Because she's already thinking about Joe Fox's
Yeah.
reference to the Godfather. And she's never seen that movie.
Interesting.
And then later on, I think she says she references the Godfather again, or I think she references Go to the Mattresses, and Frank is like, oh yeah, from the Godfather. And it's like, yeah, men love the Godfather.
Well,
We
he
do.
loves it.
We do. I love it.
I love The
Okay.
Godfather.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
They're great films,
They are.
I know.
except Sofia Coppola's part.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't watch that one.
No, we don't like to talk about that one.
Yeah.
What happened?
Alenka's just like, I don't know what's going on.
Be thankful, Alenka. Be
Okay.
thankful.
You
Okay.
probably will never know.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
So, with that advice, Kathleen decides like she is going to fight to the death, and basically they start a media blitz. She's like,
Mhm.
they're like picketing the store. She's doing like press conferences outside her store.
Mhm.
Like, we're going to fight
Shit.
Fox Books. Yeah. And then even like Frank goes on like TV to talk about the bookstore, and then also gets flirted heavily with by the interviewer.
And then he flirts
Okay.
back, and it's just like,
Yeah.
Nobody cares about relationships anymore, eh? Back then, I
No.
guess.
Yeah.
I think it's still. It depends on
It's
the
still
person. We
relevant
can even say
today.
today.
You're
There's
right.
some there's definitely shitty people.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And basically this does nothing. Like the superstore
Aw.
is like her numbers aren't going up, and it looks like they're probably gonna close.
Go under. Okay. So this superstore, you keep saying superstore. Is it just books or is it everything?
Books.
Just
yeah,
like
it's
books.
not it's actually yeah, it's just books.
It's
It's just
like-
giant.
It's like a
Uh-huh.
Barnes and Nobles where it's like books.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
they have like journals and like a candle
Trinkets.
section.
Yeah.
Trinkets,
Yeah.
but it's mostly like book related.
The books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut to now when it's like a lot, when it's
Right.
like
It's
a
just
little bit of
cheaper.
books and mostly just like throw blankets and
Right.
plates and
Yeah.
travel
Yeah.
mugs.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Give them what the people want.
Yeah. And but so after all this messaging, she like really, really wants to meet NY152. So,
Ooh.
they decide like, yeah, let's meet. We're gonna meet. We're gonna do it.
I hate that again.
Oh.
Still, like, what has there been any sort of like conversation with her man, or like vice versa?
No.
Like, have we seen none of that? Okay.
No.
I think because when she goes to meet him, or before she goes to meet him, I think that's when Frank is on TV flirting with. So I think that moment we're supposed to be like, oh, it's okay if she goes.
It's fine.
And meets.
It's totally cool.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Lame.
He's like a tiny flirty, even though he's oblivious kind of to the flirtation, because he's just like, so, he's so enamored with anyone who is like likes his work. That's why he also was enamored with Joe's girlfriend liking his work.
I also think they were in the kind of relationship, like both of the main characters, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, their relationships are like very obvious, unhappy or like settled relationships that I think I'm just coming to a little of defense here that of the movie that I love, that, they probably have, it might not have been in the story, but you could feel when a relationship's not right and both parties are kind of like not wanting to pull the trigger, which does eventually happen, by the way, in the movie. It does happen. So it's not like she cheats on him, like anything.
Okay.
But, so that's my defense.
There is no physical cheating.
No
and like
physical.
I said, 1998 on the internet didn't count.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They don't even know each other's names,
Yeah.
So they set up a meeting. She's going to be carrying a copy of Pride and Prejudice, which she loves, and Joe Fox reads it, and he clearly does not really like it while he's reading it, but he wants to read it because of her. And then a red rose, and a red rose,
so that he knows it's her.
Yeah.
And Joe's walking up to the restaurant with his best friend Dave Chappelle. And, of course, the biggest worry is whether she's a dog or not,
Yeah, this
of
part
course. Fuck you.
Yeah. Essentially, like, it's a no-go if she's ugly.
Yeah.
And so that's why he gets Dave Chappelle to like peek in the window. And he's like, no, I can't see. And then he sees her, and they all know who Kathleen is. Like, they know her face. So he's like, how about she sort of looks like that Kathleen lady, which you think, well, yeah, she's cute. She's just, I hate her. She's terrible. He's like, well, if you don't like Kathleen, you're definitely not going to like this lady.
And he's like, why? It's like, because it is Kathleen Kelly.
Oh my God.
Like, what? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so he goes in, but he doesn't play it off like he's NY152. He plays it off like, oh, you just happen to be here. And she's fucking pissed off that he's there, ruining this moment.
Yeah.
And he, again, acts the asshole, which is, it's hard to empathize with Tom Hanks when he immediately has to like switch to asshole mode.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why? Why are you doing this? What is the point?
He's such a nice boy.
But it's a good scene for her, because she does like stick up for herself. She takes his online advice to like be faster. So she does get back at him with like, I forget what the line is. She says something like, I know at the end she says, you're just nothing but a suit. And she's like, oh my God, I finally did it. I finally, like, when confronted with a horrible person, I finally said the things I wanted to say.
Right.
Oh no, she said something like, oh, if where there was a heart, there would be a bottom line, like something like that. She was saying,
she like rails off on him for quite a long. But yeah, the last one is you're nothing but a suit, and that's the one that really hits him. The soup. You're nothing but soup. Nothing but a nice cold bowl of gazpacho soup.
That's what I was gonna say. Weird.
That's just because I'm excited for
summer gazpachos.
No, for I think you should leave season 2 to come out, but
I don't know what that is.
Beside the point.
Oh no,
it's a sketch show.
I don't. I still haven't watched it. Sorry.
Tim Robinson,
Piece of trash.
I
know.
Watch it.
I'm trash.
That one you should watch though, because we do sketch comedy and it's good inspiration. Yeah, you do. I know. Okay. So that's where he leaves, actually very hurt, but like his own medicine. He's got his own medicine now at this point.
But then also she thinks she's getting stood up, right?
Yes,
is
she
kinda
does
sad.
think she's
Yes.
getting stood up, which is really
So
sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so essentially, yeah, the next day they're all like, "Oh, how'd it go? How'd it go?" And he's like, "Oh, he didn't come." And they keep saying, "He stood you up," and she gets up pissed off of that because
Aw.
she doesn't want to say that he stood
Yeah.
her up.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, "Well, what could maybe something, maybe it was something important, maybe something happened." And then George, Steve Zahn's character, is like, "Guys," and he holds up a newspaper, and it was like, some like Night Stalker, like killer
Was finally
was
caught, arrested.
Yeah,
Huh?
a block away from the restaurant.
Oh, no.
So they're like, maybe it was this guy.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing then like communication on the AOL Messenger is like doesn't exist anymore. Like, does she end up trying to reach out and he ignores?
No, he does message her, or sorry, she messages him like, why didn't you show up? I felt really hurt. And he, explains it away. Like it was a super important business meeting. He couldn't leave. He's very, very sorry.
Huh. Interesting.
Maybe we should hold up on meeting for a little bit or something.
Yeah.
Why do you think
So
he did that? Like, I thought he didn't like this woman and then she gave him some of his own medicine. Like, why do you think he would choose to even like come up with something?
He likes her because it's like taking away the face of like the person when you're doing like online AOL messaging. He fell in love with the person he was talking to. So it's like he got to know her more on a deeper level than this woman that was opposing his business. So I think that's that's the conflict. Is like, oh, this is the same person.
He does care about her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Because you can't judge a book by its cover.
No.
Ooh.
Yes.
You can only judge it by
that's
its
the
price.
Review. Love it.
There you go. Yeah, so the movie moves super quickly after this point.
Okay.
Kathleen decides to close the store. Like they're not going to make it.
Shit.
She closes the store.
Yeah.
What?
And there's this whole kind of, it's funny. So Kathleen and her one employee, and then Birdie are all at Birdie's house. And Birdie's talking about how she fell in love with this man, but she couldn't be with him. And then she had to leave. And then she reveals the man was like running Spain at the time. And it was in like the 60s or something.
What?
And like Frank is like blown away by this information because the man she fell in love with was like a fascist dictator. It had to be this one Spanish dude.
Yeah.
And Frank's, is a socialist. And
right.
I don't know. It's a funny scene, but he's just like blown away. And it's like this whole time. And while they're sitting, after they go to a movie and they sit at this restaurant, and Frank is like, he's like revealing to Kathleen, like, I don't think I'm in love with you. Like he's going to break up with her. But then Kathleen's like, I don't think I'm in love with you either. And it's like the most healthiest breakup in movie history.
It really is. It's
wow.
I do love that breakup because I think it's very mature in the sense that they're both like, yeah, you're kind of like a nice to be around, but there's nothing more. It's like a roommate. He was a good roommate, essentially.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
right.
Like their personalities mesh really well. Like it's like they're perfect for each other, but they're just not in love.
Yeah,
there's not the chemistry.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, is there anyone else? And she was like, well, I have been chatting to this guy online. Like, and then she's like, well, what about you? Like, what about that TV reporter who was interviewing you that flirted with you? And they make a joke where she's like, well, isn't she like a Republican? And he's like, I just can't help myself.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they like amicably break up.
Yep.
It's all good. And then Joe and his girlfriend get trapped in an elevator for a brief period of time. Great scene.
Stop.
And you've got the elevator guy, and you've got this older lady in there with them. And they're in there for like hours.
She has her small dog with her. This older woman has like her little Pomsky or something.
Yeah.
Baby.
And then they're all sitting there waiting for like help to come. And the elevator dude is like, I'm going to marry my girlfriend. Like, if I get out of here, I'm going to marry my girlfriend. I don't know what's taking me so long. I love her. I'm going to marry her. And then the old woman's just like, if I get out of here, I'm going to talk to my mom more.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. They think
and then
they're
his
gonna
girlfriend's
die.
like, when I get out of here, I'm going to get a manicure or something.
She
like
says
that.
she's gonna get her eyes lasered.
Oh, eyes
or
laser.
something
that's what
like
it is,
that.
yeah.
They're like,
Okay.
they're like, what?
Can't do glasses. Mm-mm.
And then he takes a moment. He's like, oh, when I get, and she goes, and then she ruins the moment, like cuts him off. She's like, where the fuck are my Tic Tacs?
Oh my God.
And then
Yeah.
in that moment, he realizes they're not meant to be.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Yeah. Not at
So do
all.
they break
So
up there? Do we see this?
Yeah, like the next scene, he's got all his stuff and he's going to live on his boat. He has,
He
a
would.
decent boat.
Of course he does.
A nice small boat.
With his
Yeah.
dog, Brinkley.
With his dog, Brinkley. He has a dog, Brinkley, who
Golden
he
Retriever.
references Brinkley. He references Brinkley to Shop Girl. So Shop Girl knows he has a dog named Brinkley, but she doesn't know Joe Fox's dog
Right.
name, Brinkley.
Yeah. Not common knowledge. Yeah.
No. So he's living on his boat. They're still messaging each other from time to time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so he, at this point, we gather that like he does love her. He is going to probably try to make it work, but
I
he's
think
not
it's
ready to tell her
still,
yet.
like figuring it out. I don't think he
Okay.
like wants
Yeah.
to like let it go yet. But
Right.
remember, this is a
Yeah.
man that
Okay.
needs a lot of therapy. So
Yeah.
There's a great scene. So Joe's like at the docks or walks up to the docks and he sees his dad getting out of his car with all his bags, and he's like, "What happened?" And so it's revealed that his dad's fiance, who has the son that's his brother, they're not getting married, and she's actually fallen in love with their nanny, the son's nanny,
Good.
who's a character we didn't mention, but she's like around.
yeah.
Okay.
So they fall in love, and so they have a drink on his dad's yacht, which is literally right beside his boat. So he's on the Fox 3, and then his dad's yacht is the Fox 2, and it's a much bigger boat. And they're having a drink on the boat, talking about their lives, and him talking about his multiple marriages.
It's so hard being us.
It's
pretty much.
very good, yeah.
That's very much the scene.
Yeah. And his dad says something like, you can never really find the one person who fills you with true joy. And like Joe Fox hears that and he's like, I know who fills me with true joy.
Okay. Really?
He doesn't say that, but
Really?
that's his realization.
Realization. He's like, oh wait,
Right.
it is her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
I just need to be more
time.
transparent with people that I see face to face.
There is a scene we forgot to mention. There's a scene where Kathleen like closes up her store for the last time. Like it's
Sad.
empty and she's in her store and it's like she's locking it up. And she
fuck is she
goes to
gonna
the
do?
Fox and Sons books.
Yeah.
And she sees it's all, so many books, people walking around drinking coffees and all this stuff. And she's in the children's section sitting there. And this woman is trying to find she's like, do you have the shoes books or something? And the guy helping her, I was like, I don't know. What's the name of the book? And like, he's so unknowledgeable about books, but Kathleen knows exactly.
Which is Chris
the book she's talking
Messina,
about.
by the way, who is in the Mindy Project. Who's Mindy's like eventual husband. That was his like first role in there.
Get it?
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he was so young. He also ended up being in Julie and Julia, another Nora Ephron film. Amy Adams. He played Amy Adams' wife, her husband.
Yeah. Okay.
We should put that on the list, actually.
Yeah.
Julia and
she's
Julia
like,
is so good.
You want these books? This is the author's name. And the guy's like, oh, okay, great. And then he goes back to Kathleen. How do you spell that? And it's like, just shows, you don't get that care,
the personal,
that customer service, in these big books.
But Joe Fox is watching the scene the whole time. He's kind of like,
he's watching it
through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's just been stalking.
Yeah, because the major executive of this bookstore is always
on
those
site.
Bookstores.
They're always there.
Yeah. They work 24/7. That's how they get their
do.
money.
They work really hard.
They do. They do. Everyone.
They don't outsource anything. They do all the work themselves. They don't have islands. They work.
Yeah. and they view interactions with their customers and take notes and make the work life better
Right.
for their customers. Okay.
But you know that employee got like a write-up who's like, hey, I want to see that kid.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, so accurate.
So Joe shows up to Kathleen's house with flowers.
Where the fuck? How does he know where she lives?
I think you can look these things up. I don't know. Maybe he might have gotten directions from George, because he kind of reveals later in so she invites him in. Well, she doesn't really invite him in. He kind of
She's
he
sick.
just kind of moves his way in. She's sick.
Huh?
Yeah.
She's like a
He's
cold.
like, I heard you were sick, so I brought you flowers.
Sick and unemployed. Okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of revealed that George, her former employee, now works for Joe's Superstore in the children's section.
Come on.
But he's like, yeah, George is like shaping everyone up. Everyone has to have a PhD in children's literature to work there, which is kind of a joke, but really he's making it so that, people are knowledgeable about books in his store.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
Good for
a
you,
good
buddy.
guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. And it's one of these things, like you said, they're still essentially strangers. They've had like 3 in-person meetings, and he's going into her house, grabbing a vase, filling it with water, putting the flowers in the vase. Like, it's
creepy.
Like it's his home.
Yeah.
Ew.
And she's like walking around with like tissue, like, very rom-com-y, like a robe, tissues like everywhere, and just like talking with her nose like this, and what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. But unlike When Harry Met Sally, they don't end up having sex in this scene.
No. There's no fornication in this movie.
No,
really?
That's true. I realize that.
Disappointing. That's Tom Hanks.
It's the Tom Hanks rom-com.
Yeah.
Just maybe a kiss.
I think, yeah.
On the cheek.
Maybe a kiss.
Like at the very end.
Yeah.
That's like I would say that's very much the Tom Hanks brand of rom-coms, is like the very end, no nothing, family friendly,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the build.
Yeah. Unless you're, Forrest Gump, in which,
oh yeah,
he gets to second base at one point in that movie.
Does he?
Yeah.
Very
I don't
awkward.
know. Oh, I can't
Oh
wait.
yeah, we still have to do that movie. Let's not reveal.
Oh my god. I think that was on I had a list. It took me a while to like pick a movie, because I couldn't believe how many you haven't seen and how many of these movies I love.
I know. I'm an uncultured swine.
But do you ever watch the movies after like you hear them in a
have.
podcast? You do?
I have watched a few.
Yeah.
I don't watch all of them, usually because they're not accessible on Netflix, but Will now sends me them illegally. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We got, throw us those likes, those reviews, because we'll start a Patreon in which we watch all of the movies we've talked about.
Yeah.
We'll do live commentary with Alenka.
Give me
Love
money.
But only for money.
Oh,
We need money.
We're capitalists.
come on. Give them money, people.
Okay, so she's in her house, and
Right.
she's like, I don't know, like he's like saying he's sorry essentially for ruining her business.
Her
I don't know. Yeah, essentially. And he he talks about that, that scene in the restaurant, who she was waiting for, and she reveals that it's a guy she met online, and then he utters the famous words, "Oh, you've got mail," and he says the title of the movie in this scene.
I love that. That's always my favorite part of every movie, is when they say the title.
When
of
they
the
say
movie.
the title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be the giveaway that it's him to her in this moment?
No,
it's just
no.
him
It's just like,
commenting.
you're not going to believe it. I met him on the internet, and then that's
Right,
what he
right.
says. You've got mail, because that's the famous.
That's
no
the
one
line,
had
baby.
anything else but AOL. There was no Hotmail. There's no
Mm-mm.
Gmail. There's no MailChimp.
Yahoo. Yeah.
Yahoo. All right. And then he, what does he do next?
He gets her soup,
Oh,
right?
there's
Doesn't
a
he
really
get her like
other weird moment.
Soup. See, he is soup.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then, but there's like a whole montage thing
gets
where
some-
they're like
he, like-
dating, kind of, but not
Oh yeah,
dating.
no, but I was just
What?
gonna say in this scene in her house, she like says something mean to him, and then she goes, "I don't know why I said that. It doesn't matter what you did. You don't deserve me being this mean to you. I'm not this mean. Like
Nice.
I can't believe I just said these things to you." At the very end, he says, I forget what he says, but he's tucked her into bed at this point, like just being like, "You're sick, like lay in bed." And she's about to say another thing maybe awful to him. And he just like puts his hands up to her lips and he's like, like, "Don't say anything that you might someday regret later." Like, because he's like, "I'm going to be your future husband. Don't say these things."
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of a weird thing,
fuck?
but they have a moment, but like, yeah, my girlfriend was like, "Someone put their hands on my lips like that."
Yeah,
This
that was
stranger,
Yeah,
weird
somebody
I
that
know.
like she doesn't really like too. Like I'd be
Yeah.
like, get the fuck out of my house.
And not even doesn't really like, but a guy that she definitely should hate, like has every
Yeah.
reason to hate. But so that happens. And then, yeah, they essentially start kind of a friendship. They start hanging out a lot.
Okay.
And he's always like, a lot of their conversations about like, "Oh, wonder what this guy is like that you're talking to online." Like, "Oh, well, NY
What a
152.
skis,
What does
just
that
say
mean?
it's you.
152 pock marks on his back."
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's
Clark bars, they say.
yeah, Clark bars. They basically
What's
say
that?
like, "What if he's fat?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he says
you.
something like, "What if he's so fat that they have to like forklift him out of his house?"
God.
And I was like,
Come on.
"Oh
Great.
god." Yeah.
Oh no.
So like he obviously is fat phobic and doesn't
Yep.
like ugly people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, so is she in a way because she never says it doesn't matter. I would love him anyway.
No,
She's
yeah,
kind of just
sure.
like, he's not.
Yeah.
right. Right.
She's just not
Fuck.
saying it.
Yeah. She's not
Oh,
right. So she's
fuck.
like, he's not gonna be like that because if he was, I would not be with him.
Right. What the fuck?
But they're hanging out, going to markets and shit, and
Yeah.
having a good time, and they actually
When is he
genuinely
gonna tell
enjoy each
her?
other.
We're getting there.
I know. I'm just getting annoyed because he's like pre-dating her before he like decides he's gonna date her.
No, I
Right?
think he's trying to make himself like so the whole thing is he
prep
wants
her, condition her
Yeah, he
to like
wants
him.
basically, yeah, he wants her to like him, not the online guy.
Yeah.
Even though the online guy is him.
Mhm.
Because I guess
Right.
he
Exactly.
thinks that if he reveals it, she just won't like him. So he has to like start being nice to her.
Mhm.
Ew.
And have a genuine connection.
Yeah.
Hate it. Hate
Yeah,
this
and
movie.
yeah, and then so basically like they're actually having a good time, having fun, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, maybe you should meet this guy. You should set up the meeting again." Like, and she's like, "Yeah, I think I will." So she like sets up a meeting. They're gonna meet at this park. It's a very specific park, but I can't. It's a New York park of some sort, but Riverside Park. That's what they said.
Yeah, because it's all in the Upper West Side. Is like
Yeah.
the whole movie.
It's gotta be.
Mhm. And he said, "I'll bring Brinkley with me, so we'll meet then." And
the NY
her
guy.
NY 152, Joe
Okay.
Fox. So Joe
Okay.
Fox and her
Okay.
are hanging out, and it's the day that she's going to meet. So they walk up to her apartment so she can get ready, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then he stops her and he kind of just expresses all these things, like he's sorry about the way they met, and that if it were under different circumstances, he would have asked her out, did all these things. And he says, "I would have asked you out for as long as we both shall live."
Oh
Like, it
my
was
gosh,
like,
yeah.
they connected so well that it's like, I would marry you.
He said something like, he's like, "If you gave me your number, I wouldn't have waited 24 hours. I would have called you right away. I
Okay.
would have dated you. I would have taken you here for as long as we both shall live." He did like a little speech and then
fuck?
ended it like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then basically
Weird.
begs her not to go meet him, the online guy, like
Yeah.
as some kind of test.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Oh, he's
Ew.
definitely gaslighting her.
I
Oh,
hate
for
like
sure.
this
big
so
time
much.
gaslighting.
Ew.
It's not good. And she's like,
no, what's the worst part
doing that
about
thing.
this is that like when you guys were talking about like, oh, okay, so they're gonna meet, there's a weird, gross, like conditioned part of me that got like excited and I was like, oh yay, they're gonna meet and she's gonna know. And I hate
Of
rom-coms
course.
for this.
Exactly.
That's why I
And
hate
you're
rom-coms.
supposed to know. You're supposed to feel this.
Mhm.
Yuck. Ugh, continue.
But this one's almost especially like crap because like
Yeah.
it's one thing if he like personally did some things to her that maybe they could get past.
Mhm.
It's the fact that we're supposed to look at this like giant corporation literally destroying this small business, historic small business. It's not even like it's her business that she started.
right.
It was her mother's business that's actually was quite famous in New
Mhm.
York, for
Right.
these people.
And all he
It's
had
like-
to do was not put a children's section in his bookstore.
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah, essentially,
Because
yeah.
she was just like, she was just a
Just children's
bookstore.
book.
Mhm.
You could have just like, guys, let's just not do children. We'll partner
Yeah.
with the shop around the corner,
Yeah.
something.
We'll
No.
partner with Smirnoff. We'll serve alcohol in here. It'll be great.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
No children allowed.
No.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a smoking room.
Yes. Mhm.
So yeah, she like looks like she's maybe gonna say something, but she doesn't. And she's like, I gotta go
Okay.
and get ready. And he leaves.
Mhm.
And she goes, she gets ready. She's in a nice dress. So we really haven't seen her in. And she's going to Riverside Park and she's like waiting in the park. And then we hear Brinkley bark. And we hear Tom Hanks' voice like, Brinkley. And then he appears around the corner and the music swells and she sees him. And it's actually great a performance. Like she performs many emotions throughout this scene because she like looks, she's kind of like in awe and happy. But then there's a time where she actually looks kind of pretty upset about it
Mm-hmm.
for a
Confused.
moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
And he walks in and then she's like crying. And he like wipes her
What the
tears and goes like,
fuck?
"Don't cry, shop
What?
girl."
I do hate that part. I'm like, why? Why?
Ew.
It is a shitty.
And then
line.
she goes, I hoped it was you. Like somehow,
yeah.
somehow
Oh,
she
fuck
knew.
off.
"Yeah."
You
She's like, "I was
didn't.
hoping it was you."
But
Yeah,
somehow she like knew
Fuck
the whole
off.
time. Like,
I wanted it to be you.
No.
That's what she
I
said.
wanted it to be you.
She didn't say I hope. I wanted it to be you. So she didn't actually know it would be, but she was just like, it's like I wanted. It's like she was thinking about him.
She's basically like
now
saying like,
that's
yeah,
all
I
she's
wanted
thinking.
you.
Yeah.
Ew.
ugh, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, she becomes a millionaire.
well,
Trophy wife.
Yeah.
They kiss, the camera pans up and the
Mhm.
movie ends. And it's funny because me and Sam, my girlfriend, both had the same thought, almost like a Mandela effect, where for some reason we thought there was an extra scene where we go into the bookstore and she's reading to kids in the superstore and it's like a big happy
Huh.
family where she works for him. That doesn't exist, but
Ew.
that totally could have existed in this movie.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I was thinking that there would be a portion of this film where she is working for them, actually, because she's just unemployed.
We can imagine that she does. That she
does.
becomes
She
the
marries
resident.
him,
Yeah,
Mrs. Fox.
Yeah, why can't it be the other way around where like he's like, okay, I'm going to fund your store now. We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do cool things.
They could even relocate it away from a Fox bookstore if it's that big of a
Right.
deal,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do like a You've Got Mail sequel.
We'll make it
And,
ourselves.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
We can
Except
get the same
they're-
cast.
She'll
Yeah,
start
except
a new relationship on Hinge.
yeah,
Yes.
Start dating.
Yeah,
That's how it's done. But you actually get
he
pictures.
has a secret
in that instance.
OnlyFans sort
Yeah.
of
So
thing.
he's just
yeah.
so he's just catfishing her.
Mhm.
yeah.
So not creepy.
Yeah, but
And-
that's the end. That's the end.
Yeah, that's it. That's the movie.
Wow. I fucking hate that movie.
It's so much better to me watching it than dissecting it,
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
when you
And
dissect it, you're like, okay, yeah, this is problematic. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And again, like there's still that part of me that's like, oh, I want to see them fall in love, and I
Of
do
course.
need Will to send me this link, but but yeah, what a trash couple of people. Like
Mhm.
sorry, but fuck that.
But a
And
lot
the worst
of
part is
rom-coms
that
are
you're
like
right.
that.
No, that's
They
true.
are,
A lot of
yeah.
rom-coms are just like completely toxic relationships.
Mhm.
Oh, exactly. I mean,
It's
yeah, I
just
think the biggest thing
conditioning
is
the
just
public.
the fact that we're definitely not supposed to like her boyfriend, but because it's 2021 and we're we're looking for a socialist revolution, he's like, oh, like he's every opinion that is like now in the progressive mainstream. But back then it was like, oh, this guy's an
Right.
annoying, self-righteous dick who
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
like
Yeah,
technology or money.
Right. Man, so
And I
much
also
more
do
now
want
than
to point
ever.
out she wasn't necessarily poor. She owned a brownstone on the Upper
Oh,
West
yeah.
Side.
You're
So
right.
she
you're
wasn't
right.
like she was like upper class and he was like upper class.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
She owned a computer in 1998. I
Yeah.
think she was doing
Right.
quite well.
She's going to
Mhm.
literary parties with caviar as garnish.
Exactly.
most movies are about rich people. They're never like
are.
about
I know.
people without money.
Peasants.
'Cause then-
Because it's easier to film in your rich friend's house than it
Of
is
course.
to find a place that looks poor enough to be poor.
Right.
Yeah.
They look poor.
Hate that you
Yeah.
said that, Will. Hate that. Hollywood, baby.
Mhm.
It is, yeah.
I'm just depressed
All right.
now.
Oh. Oh. Well, how many like
Mm. Yes.
how many Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves do you give this movie?
Okay. As long as Keanu Reeves is in fact a Nazi, I give this 1 Sandra Bullock to 10 Keanu Reeves. She's overwhelmed.
10 Keanu Nazis? Oh, that's
10
a great.
Nazi Keanu Nazis. Yeah. She's
Oh
overwhelmed.
God.
She's not sure what she just got into, but she's here for it.
I want to see this movie now where Keanu Reeves is a Nazi.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have to
think
look up
I don't
what the
think he
fuck
ended up being a
I'm
Nazi
thinking
in the
of.
lake house.
No, but you are thinking of the lake house. But I
Yeah.
don't think he was a Nazi.
for the mailbox, but I'm not sure what movie I'm thinking of. And I think it's Sandra Bullock again, where she's married to some guy and she finds out that he's a Nazi. Unless Family Guy just pulled that out of their ass, which they very well could
They probably
have.
just pulled that out of their ass.
I think
I like
it
that
exists.
Family Guy is your reference for everything.
Yeah.
It is.
It's facts about those movies
Yeah.
for sure.
It gives me,
Well,
honestly,
Family Guy said it.
I've learned some things from Family Guy, and then unfortunately they do have fake news in it too. So sometimes I say things out in the real world and look like a fool, but you know, it's fine.
Oh,
I'm a better person now.
sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I know this is why I don't like talking to Will.
Oh, that makes our relationship sound completely terrible.
I'm kidding. Our relationship's not any worse than Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. So we're
Tam
fine.
Hanks.
Tam
Tam
Hanks.
Hanks.
Tam
It's his
Hanks.
sister. My name's Tam Hanks. My brother's Tom. You might know him from the movies.
Movies.
My nephew's
I want her
Chet.
to exist so badly.
And that's a real fact.
I want. Nice. Yeah.
Oh,
so
well-
10
Wait, have you
Nazi
seen
Keanu
Sleepless in
Reeves.
Seattle?
Nah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's next on the list. That's another Nora Ephron, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan feature.
They did 3
You're
movies
kidding.
together.
You're kidding.
What was the third one?
It was like
Have a my diverse
something. Is it Joe and the Volcano? I think.
Oh, that is
Fuck.
not okay.
I think it's that. It's
Deep
like an
cut?
obscure one. I want to say
okay.
that was
Oh, Joe versus the volcano.
yeah, and that was Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks.
Oh, okay.
I think that was their
1990.
first one.
Yeah, it didn't go well, but
No.
they decided to
But
just
no.
keep that pairing going.
It's like Hollywood picks
Yeah,
pairs.
apparently.
Yeah,
They like really just go, okay, these 2 people together, movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
I swear
They
that's what
tried.
they do.
They tried with Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, and
Yeah.
then they made that one terrible film. They had no chemistry,
Which one?
first of all.
Which
Yeah.
one?
But there was like, but the one was so bad. It was like Selena. or
I haven't seen that one.
Something.
But any other
and she was just
Jennifer Lawrence one.
they had this awkward bathtub scene. It's so weird. They have no chemistry, and they're like supposed to be intimate with. It's just so bad.
Yeah. Or it's like Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. That's another pairing they want to go for. Or I haven't seen it, but that new Men in Black movie is what's his face, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, who were both in Thor. So they're trying these pairings.
Why don't they jazz it up?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they should change it.
Yeah, just like jazz it up like La La Land. Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling.
Sure.
Yeah, because they did. They also did Crazy Stupid Love together as well.
And then Gangster Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know why they just pair people. But anyways, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, one of the original pairs.
Oh yeah.
Oh geez.
They kill it. Even though they kill it in a terrible movie.
Terrible movie.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, Rebecca, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you guys for having me.
Been wonderful talking about this movie. If people want to hear you, see you, watch more of you, where can they find you? Any projects going on, or they want to hit you up on social media?
Yeah, I don't have anything crazy happening right now. I'm mostly just writing stuff, but they can follow me on Instagram at Rebecca Mason with a little underscore. I hopefully will be getting back to posting like characters and impressions. So
they're so good, you guys. Honestly,
thank you.
Do you have a Meg Ryan impression?
You know, I work on my Meg Ryan, but she's a lot of facials. Like there's certain phrases like I always think of It's a Sleepless in Seattle. She goes, "Well, Walter," like she's Walter in a weird way. I don't know. She's very subtle. So she's not an easy one for me to get.
Ow. Give us your favorite right now. One of your go-tos, your faves.
My favorite impression?
Yes.
Oh, I love Jennifer Coolidge. So
knew it.
Okay.
This is my fave.
Gosh, it was so good having me on the show, guys. I sure hope to come back again. It was really great talking with you about my favorite rom-com.
I love it so much. I honestly love it. It's so good.
Oh man,
she's
that's great.
Just fun.
I'll post that as an endorsement from Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, I'd be like,
because since it's just audio.
Yeah, I'd be like, Jennifer Coolidge was on our show.
Yeah,
she'll be like, "What the fuck? Like, no, I wasn't."
Oh, I was.
She was like, I don't remember that.
But okay. She shares it. We become fucking famous.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. She should share it. Jennifer Coolidge, if you're listening to this right now, I'll keyword the episode. So if you're ever searching your name, maybe this will pop up. Please tell your friends about us, Jennifer Coolidge. They can follow us at Haven't Seen a Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at haven't_seen_it on Twitter. And we have a website. Go to there to see the big list of movies Alinka hasn't seen. And you can all listen to all our episodes. You can watch our 50th live stream. That was a fun
a mess.
3.5 hour night. If you can get through that, totally do it. And then leave us a review on iTunes and rate us. Leave us a review anywhere. But iTunes is the big one. So go and do that.
One, baby.
And cross our fingers that as you're listening to this, we've announced that we are the winner of the original theme song for the Canadian Podcast Awards.
Wait, did you do the theme song? Was that you?
No,
who did
our
that?
good friend Zach, who we mentioned 75%
we shit
of our
on
episodes.
A lot usually.
It was good. It's a good theme song.
It is.
It is.
Thank you,
we
Zach.
win. I know we win. Thanks, Zach.
We do.
We
Jennifer
love you.
Coolidge approves.
Yes.
Great
We should
job,
do
Zach.
Love it. Oh man, you guys. And on that note, fuck opening a small business. Just give up and join corporate America. Good night.